What's up, everybody? Alex Brackey here. I wanted to share this story with you. This is a true story. I'm not making this up. This actually just happened, like in the last few weeks. So I ended up interviewing with some clients. They were wanting to sell their house in the Cross Junction area, which is outside of Winchester, for those that don't know. And they were open about the fact that they were a couple months behind on their mortgage. I said, not a big deal. The amount of equity they had was going to make it so that we could sell the house. They didn't have to do foreclosure, any of that stuff. So when we actually sat down and met them, then they were a little bit more open about the fact that, well, they weren't just a couple months behind, they were more like 8 months behind. And I said, okay, guys, like that completely changes our strategy because at 8 months behind, I was a little surprised that the bank had not already set a foreclosure sale date. Once that happens, there's a little bit more information than you guys probably want, but once a foreclosure sale date has been set, everything is off, right? The house is going to foreclose. There's nothing any real estate agent can do. And I said, look, we've got to really hustle to get this done because once that foreclosure date's set, there's nothing else I can do. And so they had enough equity in the home, we could do a very fast sale. And the thing is that the banks don't play fair. That's just the way the world works. The banks don't play fair. Once they see that you're trying to sell the house, they're going to foreclose and set that foreclosure sale date immediately. And so I said, look, we've got to do a really fast sale and without the bank knowing about it. In other words, it cannot go in the MLS. And so we've got to market this outside the MLS using the resources and contacts that I have. I actually sourced them an offer, and they came back and said, yeah, they just couldn't accept that. They really wanted to go on market to try to make more money. And I said, guys, here's my concern with this, right? As soon as you list that in the MLS, the bank is going to set that foreclosure sale, and then you're done. You get no money out of this, right? They were at least set up where they could walk away with a little bit of equity, some money in their pocket through a very fast sale and without ever having to go on MLS or anything like that. They said, nope, Alex, sorry, we're going to go a different direction. I said, no problem, guys. I wish you the best. About 2 days later, they had it listed with another agent. It was in the MLS for sale, went under contract relatively quickly. The problem is that about 7 days after they went into the MLS, the foreclosure sale was set. And so the property is still sitting there technically under contract. I'm not sure if that's because they actually don't know that the sale is not going to wind up happening, or I don't know why it's there, but the foreclosure sale is already set. The bank is doing its thing and taking back the property and selling it to somebody else. And you know, the moral of the story here, guys, is it really does matter who you work with, right? I don't get really upset, you know, when somebody says that, you know, if they don't want to work with us or whatever, that's totally cool. But it's frustrating for me, right? Because I know what is, you know, the fate that awaited those folks. I knew what was going to happen. They had another agent who they, you know, were friends with and was telling them, giving them advice that frankly was bad advice. She didn't know what she was talking about. And so, guys, who you work with really matters. It's not an ego play for us. You know, it's really is more about trying to do what's in your own best interest. And sometimes it's, you know, we have to deliver news that we don't love to deliver, right? It's not the fun, happy news, but ultimately it's the best advice that we can give you. And in this instance, right, it was, you know, hey, avoid the foreclosure, avoid the hit on your credit. You're going to walk away with some money, just not as much as if we actually had time to market it in the MLS and whatever without the bank, you know, jumping in to kind of ruin the party. And, you know, it's kind of the classic case. You can lead some folks to water, but you can't make them take a drink. You know, it really does matter who you work with, guys. If you don't choose to work with us at the Valor Group, again, I totally get it. I hope that you will find somebody who really is an expert at what they're doing and not just a friend who just happened to get their license recently. Make sure that they're an expert at what they're doing, especially within real estate. even in the foreclosure side of the business, right? You may have a license in real estate. That doesn't mean that you know what you're doing with foreclosures or with lakefront property or, whatever. They can be very different markets, very different ball games to play in. And you got to make sure that whoever you're working with really does know what they're doing and isn't just trying to fake it to make it. So guys, I hope all is well. If we can ever answer questions for you, again, whether we've earned your business or not, I'm more than happy to give you any advice that we have and let you make your own best decision. Thanks so much.